Now, two British lawyers are seeking to have Saudi Arabia suspended from the UN Human Rights Council because of its own human rights record. The kingdom is accused of arresting dozens of political activists and detaining them without charge. Sonia Gallego reports now from London.
It's a case that has been given little attention given the recent state of affairs in Saudi Arabia. 30 of its citizens detained without charge, another 31 who have apparently simply disappeared. No one knows where they have gone or where they're being held, nor have they been charged with any offences. A violation of Saudi and international laws, say the British lawyers who authored the report into the arrests and are now calling for the UN to suspend the government of Saudi Arabia from the Human Rights Council.
If they are committed to human rights and the instruments that they signed up to, as well as international law, then there's no need for the suspension if they put that into practice. But those who breach provisions of international codes should not be allowed to do that and then still sit on a council that reviews human rights around the world. The double standards should be stopped.
Much may have been made of the recent changes in Saudi Arabia since the country's heir to the throne, Mohammed bin Salman, assumed a wider role. Women have won the right to drive, the last country in the world to have lifted that ban, and a high-profile corruption crackdown against members of the elite drew significant attention around the world. But human rights groups say while these actions are part of a determined effort to change Saudi's troubled image, the reality is far removed from that vision of change. Dissent is silenced, calls for change are censored, and even messages on social media can invite imprisonment and punishment.
The fact that multiple activists, at least 15 according to our counts, and maybe more now that this new report has emerged, are jailed solely for their human rights activism, and this is absolutely not acceptable. And the efforts of the Crown Prince to brand himself as a reformer cannot fly in the face of such blatant human rights violations.
As a member of the UN's Human Rights Panel, there is much pressure on Saudi Arabia to fulfill its duties in that capacity. One way would be to get key allies such as the UK, a major exporter of arms to the kingdom, to convince them to fulfill their legal obligations. Saudi's rulers are expected to visit Britain soon, but there are concerns as to how much of an effect Prime Minister Theresa May would have on calls to respect the values they're meant to uphold as members of the Human Rights Council. Saudi Arabia may be sensitive about its image. The question is, how much will it be prepared to prove that it's willing to accept change within the kingdom? Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera, London.